Hello everyone, welcome to the Infotech channel. Today we will discuss about var, let and const. What is the difference between var, let and const, and what are the scopes of using these variables, and also we will discuss about in which context we have to use these variables. Many developers have confused that where we should declare with which keyword, what variables we should declare with which keyword. So I will discuss on that also. So please focus on this video and understand what are the concepts of these three keywords: var, let and const. At the very first, var keyword, when we declare a variable with var keyword, that means it is the, if here you can see that I have declared three variables in a global scope, that is outside this function scope. So I can access this variable inside this function because these are the outside scope. Also we say this in JavaScript, a lexical scope. So like in the lexical scope, the term lexical scope means in the parent scope, if any variable is declared, then that means that we can access those variables in the inner scope, in the downer scope. That is the lexical scope in JavaScript. So here that is outer, these three variables are declared in the outside of this employee function, that is in parent scope. So that's why we can use these variables inside this employee. Let's execute this code and see what will be the output. Yeah, here you can see that it prints all of the three variables, the Infotech, Delhi and 25. That is the age of the age variable. So it is outside of this function scope, that's why we can use. Now coming to the inside of this function and declare inside of this function all the three variables. Again we can access these variables because I am consoling these variables inside this employee employee function. That's why we can access it. If we put this outside, then we can't access any of this variable because all of the three variables are in functional scope. And if we declare inside a var keyword in any block scope, then we can access the function. Suppose this is a block scope, and if we access these declare these three variables inside this block scope, then we can only access the name variable, but we cannot access this address and age variable outside this block scope because let and const variables are block scope variables. We can, where in which block we declare these variables let and const, only on those blocks we can use these two variables let and const. But where keyword variables are, we can declare anywhere in the function, we can use on that function only. We cannot use where keyword functions outside of these functions. So here if I print console name, then I can access the name variable here. Let's see the example. Yes, we can access name, but we cannot access address or age because these are the let and const and block scope variables. So we cannot access. It gives an error, that is reference error, address is not defined. So here I mean to say that let and const are a block scope variable, so we cannot use these variables outside the block scope. Suppose here is a if condition, and here I am putting a condition like true, so every time it will go inside this if condition. Here also I cannot use address and age, but I can use the name variable because it is a function scope. And the main difference between the let and const is both are the scope wise, both are the same, but in let is we can reinitialize the let variable, but we cannot reinitialize the const variable. I'm giving you an example, like if I reassign age with another value, then it will throw an error. It throws an error because we cannot reassign a constant variable. If we reassign address with Noida, then it will not throw any error because the let keyword variables we can reinitialize as much as we want, but with const only we at the time of declaration we have to initialize. If we you can see that in address, if we are not initialize the value in let variable at the time of declaration, then also it doesn't create any problem. But if we do not initialize the const variable at the time of declaration, it will throw compile time error. So you can see here the editor throwing error, that is, if age is declared but const declaration must be initialized. If you declare any variable with const keyword, then it must be initialized with any value. So these are the differences of where, let and const in JavaScript. Hope you like this video. If you like this video, please like, share and subscribe. Thank you so much.